Hey guys, Ryan Stileson here. It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and today's the day that I go live talking about Google local service ads, Google business profile optimization, and also conversational AI to get the phones answered and the messages responded to so that we can convert more leads. We've got a few people in the back office here waiting to jump in. Nathaniel, Sam, and Manny. I'm going to have them join in 1 second after I do the quick intro. Let people know who I am. So I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing. It's a digital marketing agency that's been around for 16 plus years. And we help businesses to generate more pre-qualified, pre-sold leads from the platforms that I mentioned just a bit ago, which is Google local service ads, Google business profile. And also we put those together with our conversational AI agent, because over the past 16 years and talking to 2 or 3 business owners a day, that's a lot of business owners, I found out that the number one problem, and you can ask other agency owners here like Nate when he jumps on, I think he'd agree that it's just getting them to answer the phone, once they actually get the leads. I do have a few things to just let you guys know about. So if you have any questions, you can always text us at 619-304-5155. You can also go to our school community. I know that Nate is in our school community. Manny is. I think Sam is as well. It's free. There's tons of great content there. A lot of what I'm talking about today is also in there and just free training. Nate has gone through that and got a lot of really good content from it. So it's school.com/local lead labs. Manny, you said you having issues on your mic. Okay, hopefully you can get that fixed. And, because what really makes this special is when I can get people into the call and we can handle the issues that they're trying to deal with as a company or for the they work for as an agency, to get them better results. And so, we're all trying to figure out this game of lead generation. We just, our brand of it, our flavor is Google local service ads, Google business profile, and that's changing. We're actually seeing that a lot more people are doing searches on large language models like Gemini, which is Google's, and ChatGPT, et cetera. So, and we've talked about that as well and how to optimize for that. And I talk a lot about that in the school community. And we got Randy on as well. So let's just I'm going to add some of these guys. Hey, Randy. I'll add Nate to the stage, Sam, Randy, and Manny. So hope you guys are all doing well. Were you guys all in the school community, or how'd you find out about us? Are you in the school community, Randy?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
I can. Yep.
I did. And really, quite frankly, I found you with all the videos you've done and us.
Oh, we just lost him. He was just getting into some really good. You guys can't hear him, can you? Okay. Nate, you got some background noise. That's why I muted you. Hopefully we get Randy back, because I'm really curious to see what he was saying. He's found, like you, Nate, I'm going to unmute you. So you found me on my YouTube, from my YouTube content. And I think that you've implemented a decent amount of our strategies, and you're doing it right now. I mean, I love what you're doing. I mean, Nate's, a go-getter, going out there as an and actually making calls in person by going into businesses. And he was sending me a text earlier today of pictures that he took at a tire store that he just walked into today and signed up as a client, because he's able to help them generate more leads with some of the strategies that we talked about on here. Is that correct?
You know what? I really love everything you teach, because you help business owners like myself, agency owners, become more valuable, especially teaching us the LSA and the AI integration. So when you become sold on that service, you learn that you have this huge tool, and I can't help but tell every single business owner about it. So we really appreciate everything that you've taught us, because it's like every business you drive by, it's like, man, how are they getting customers? We have a solution. And it's a disservice if we don't stop in and at least introduce ourselves. So that's the mentality behind it.
I love it, man. And I you really can if especially when you're in person, I used to do the same thing. I was telling you in the text when I texted back to you, because we drive by businesses. I know you do, and I do, because this is the way that we think. And I'm like, man, I could help that company. I mean, whether it's with a review culture training, like I was telling you about in the text, where you could just go in and do an in-service with the team and help them understand how to get reviews, how to use your tap cards to get reviews, for example, and just what that can do to their business. Because that was part of what I was going to talk about today. That was in the title and description of today's video. Is I wanted to talk about like how important, for example, reviews are. It's how important the speed to lead is, answering the phone quickly. And if the business owner can't do it with their humans, then you've got the guy backup. And so I know you sent over some reviews from some of your clients that they've gotten some good results, I guess, right? Like they're getting good results from it.
Yeah, no, everybody loves the Google review tab cards, and some people still don't know about it. And one thing that one way why we got the client this morning was I actually visited him yesterday, and when I visited the guy, I told him about that review culture, about getting reviews, and I just happened to have a spare review tab card on me, so I programmed it. Took 5 seconds to program it, gave it to the guy, and he was pretty stunned away. And I'm like, hey, but imagine every single one of your employees having a Google review tab card, and now it's not only off your efforts but all your employees too. So that's really easy, that you could go from 100 reviews to 170 reviews within a quarter and a half. It's very possible, and then even more. So I think it's important to cast that vision of all our clients getting more and more reviews, and it's important for us to give them the tools in order to help them accomplish that goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there are a lot of tools out there, and it's great that you've got that, kind of grassroots, mentality where you're going in and you're training them. And I, like I said, I used to do it locally here. You're doing it in Georgia, even though you live down, by me here in South Florida. And, which is great because we get together every once in a while and we talk shop and iron sharpens iron. So that's really good. So I wanted to see, Sam or Manny, I just want to make sure, do you guys have any questions, any comments? Are you able to hear us?
Yeah, nope, just here to learn.
Okay, awesome. Are you in the group as well, Sam, in the local lead labs?
In the school group, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And have you done any of the training at all? Like, have you done any of the free?
No, I'm pretty new to the whole thing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad. And do you have a business yourself, or are you an agency owner?
I have a business. I work at a place. It's a med spa.
Okay, cool. And I mean, if you want, and you don't have to. I mean, you can share as much as you want or as little as you want. But one of the things that is kind of fun to do is to do like a deep dive. If you want, of it could be even of a competitor if you wanted to. But I can, one of the things that we can do is kind of look at, what you're doing, what you could maybe be doing, to help your visibility. If you wanted to do that, we could, I could share my screen and I could actually go in and give a little, like a rundown. And Nate can give his feedback as well if you wanted. You up for that?
I was just talking to a med spa yesterday, and I learned with the LSA that you could run med spas, but I think you need a doctor on staff. Like, you need a doctor that's on your staff to be able to run LSA. I don't know. Have you had success working with med spas, doing LSA for them, Ryan?
I haven't. So this is something that we could, it'd be really interesting to look up. And see,
I think you need a doctor on staff for them to run it, because that's what Adam was telling me.
Okay, and I could always go to our partner support for local service ads and find out, and I can see if it is one. I can go to our list of verified verticals. If I think med spa is actually, yeah, I have to look. I'll look and see if it is a verified vertical or not. So Sam, if you want, we can do a little bit more research on that. Are you running local service ads right now?
No, nothing like that. But there are doctors on the staff. So.
Okay,
That's good.
what area are you in? Are you in South Florida, or
We've got 2 locations. We've got one in Las Vegas and one in San Diego.
Okay, love San Diego. Used to live there myself. I used to live in La Jolla. So we can do it. We can do a little search. I can actually search and see like what we see, and then we can, if you want, you can share, your a little bit more about your business if you want to, or as little or as much as you want. But we can at least do a search for med spas in San Diego and see what's popping up, and I can see what's going on with that vertical.
Yeah, the one especially in Vegas is more established. It's called Heal and Glow.
What is it called again?
Heal and Glow.
Heal and Glow. Okay. Okay. Awesome. And let's see. I'm going to mute you for a second, Nate, just because there's some background noise there. Okay. And then Randy, you're back. Oh, no audio. No audio. We can't hear you now. I can't hear you. Nope. It just went. So we're like striking out with you, man. Here, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to do a little search for you here. Here, share screen. While you're trying to get your audio fixed there, Randy, I would love to hear more about what you're. So can you see my screen, Sam?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Med Spa, Las Vegas. Okay, so as we thought, and we are Google local service ad partners. Like we've actually been selected by Google like 4 or 5 years ago. We're one of maybe 40 agencies worldwide that are, quote unquote, officially, partners with that platform with Google. And you have to, deal with a certain number of businesses, a certain number of ad spend, or a certain amount of ad spend, et cetera. But what that does, it gives us insight into new verticals that were just launched, which, by the way, there was some new verticals that just launched this past week. I know Nate would love to know what those are. Med Spa Las Vegas. So we got, so here's the PPC here. And this is what we typically have seen for med spas. They've been threatening to launch med spas for a while. And because I actually have a few friends that own med spas, and this is all I've been able to offer them is just, and we don't do it. We just I refer them to other people to do PPC. Let's see, I think somebody just joined, whoever that is. Let me just see here. And Sam Manny, I think he, let's see. Randy, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can. How's it going?
Perfect. You know what? Going well. Thank you.
Awesome. So you're in our school community, you said, right?
Right. And really, I found you. I know that was really kind of the question behind the question, and just really searching out there and watching YouTube videos of everything you've done within the GLSA community and being a partner with, Google on the local services ad. So the expertise has greatly been utilized as well as appreciated.
Awesome. Are you an agency owner or a business owner?
We're a business owner, and we're in the mobile pet grooming industry. We're a franchise for Zoom and Groomin', who, while we're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there are roughly 230 vans, I believe, across the country. And so it's been a good experience. The Google Local Services ads, we had previously used Facebook ads, and everybody's moving this direction.
Wow. Nate, did you hear that one? Zooming and grooming. I kind of like that, or whatever that way, we're always got our sniffer sniffing around for like new verticals, trying to find, pun intended, so I got my, we got our ears perked up and sniffers, always looking out for any new verticals, because that's where you have the most opportunity, and that's what you're finding out, and that I somewhat preach that on here. And this is why, Sam, for you, listen to what Randy's saying, because when Med Spa opens up for LSA, Nate, tell them, it's like, don't just go and run to set up your LSA page, because the first guys are typically the big winners, because they just like anything we've seen in the past, whether it's, SEO back in, 15, 16 years ago when I first started. All you had to do was add meta tags, and the guys that did that first, they were the winners. And then Google ads came out, and it was like pennies for a, PPC, and everybody, no one knew what it was. And the guys that started that first had like 2 or 3 years on their competitors. Then Facebook ads came out, and it was pennies for years. And then, so this is really, it's like a gold rush, and we can explore that a little bit more. And I'm glad to hear that you've implemented. What strategies have you implemented in particular? I'm kind of curious.
Are you referencing to me?
Yeah, Randy.
Well, you know what? Really, what I took from your sermons, if you will, about GLSA is getting your profile right, doing all the little things, and of course the R's. But specifically for us, one of the biggest challenges that we face, and I'll make a comment regarding territory areas, is an area of opportunity that AI and what I believe your agency ultimately is going to be able to help us with is the responsiveness factor. I truly believe this in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I don't know who's familiar with what, but certainly Dallas and Fort Worth are big cities. Flower Mound is a big city. We've got our territory, again, because I'm a franchise, we have very specific zip codes we can support. And what I found is that we are doing scalably better in the outskirts territories than we are in the big city areas. And I firmly believe it's because of responsiveness. I think we can compete with all the other mobile pet groomers out there, but I've got to get our responsiveness down to whether it's a phone call, answering every time I can, almost getting up and walking away from a meeting to answer a phone call. But the messaging piece, as I think you mentioned recently about their breakout and their further examination, so that they can Google can see responsiveness, the charges associated with it, which incidentally I monitor all those now, and our return on investment. Guys, I'm going to tell you, and I'll preach here a little bit about GLSA in general, is we are seeing at least a 300+% return on our investments. So it's good.
Wow.
I mean, it's a worthy, versus with Facebook, we were drowning. We were throwing $1,000+ a month into Facebook, and it was just at corporate's recommendation, and that's not a bash. It's just as trends develop and change, if you're not on top of it or listening to those that are, you'll suffer. I mean, or you won't achieve the success that you want.
Wow. I mean, that's really cool, Randy. I mean, it's good to get feedback like that, because sometimes I feel like I'm in a vacuum, and I know Nate probably can shake his head and say, yes, we feel like we're in a, because, we talk about this stuff, and I know what I know, and there's things that I don't know that I don't know. And I get that. But at the same time, there are things that I see that I know that some business owners don't know, because I've got the experience of actually going through many different cycles of seeing these new introductions of campaign types. And Sam, I'm going to get back to yours in a second here, but this really has to do with you as well, and everybody that has a business for that matter, is that really it comes down to adoption, being an early adopter. Sometimes it's scary, but and I will address, by the way, as well, Randy, you're thinking of proximity, and I love that you're really thinking in terms of the 3 R's, the reviews, radius, response rate. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And by the way, Sam, this does apply to Google Business Profile, because that's really where we're going to go with you, because really, with you, it's the optimization opportunity for you. And this is why for 16 years, when we started 16 years ago, we started with Google Business Profile optimization. We only, ran into Google Local Service Ads optimization because it was connected to GBP, and they're really inseparable. And so, and the glue that binds them together is 2 things. Number one, it's reviews. And this is what we were talking about in the beginning. And hopefully, Randy, you heard, the strategies, because I know that, if Nate was in your neck of the woods, he would be knocking on your door right now over in Texas, doing an in-service, because, sometimes these in-services they can be really valuable, especially when you're belly to belly with the client, when you can actually give them like a tap card, which, by the way, that's a writer downer for you. And this is something that you're going to take away from this meeting, and you hopefully as well, Sam, and I have to admit, I learned this from Nate, and I've been doing this for a while. I can always learn from other people. Is it's a tap card that you can give to all your mobile groomers, and the texting the link is great to get the review, but when you're in front of somebody and you have a card that they can just tap on their phone that takes them directly to the review box, that can be a game changer for your team when they're out in the field. So, and you can buy them on Google. I'll show you in a second if I have some time here, but they're really great and I highly recommend them. And I have to give kudos to, where it came from, which is, the big guy right there in the blue, Nate. So, but yeah. So, what was that, Nate? Oh yeah. Sorry. Hold on. Let me get you unmuted. There we go.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ryan. And then Randy, what helped me like really learn too is I spent like a day watching all of Ryan's modules. Like if you appreciate his content, you would absolutely appreciate his school content, because after I watched and learned everything about local service ads, it helped my agency to communicate the education to all my clients. You guys are learning this too, so that I would just highly recommend. And then a lot of my clients use Ryan's 24/7 AI, which is really cool because they never miss a call. And after hours, like after 6 p.m., my clients don't want to pick up the call. So when a lead calls, the AI gets it, and then it's like a whole written transcription gets sent to their phone and their email. So my clients will get a call on a Saturday at 7 p.m. Obviously, they're with their family. They have their AI that picks up the call, so the lead gets acknowledged, and the client, like the contractor, the business owner, they get that text or that email. So that's a super duper big component with being competitive. It's not just the local service ads. The LSA is good. The GLSA, that's good. But if you have a 24/7 AI answering service and you combine them, that's the real 1-2 punch. Running LSA and then running it 24/7 so you never miss a lead. I would say nine of my clients are doing that right now.
Well, I tell you, our business, the mobile pet grooming vertical that we're in, is really an interesting bear versus, I'll throw out some traditional ones, plumbers as an example. Now, hey, make no mistake, a pipe can break in the middle of the night. I totally get that. But people are coming to us to get their dogs groomed, right? And you would believe the hours at which they ping us, whether it's even current clients for that matter. So keeping customer satisfaction high is hugely important. I got an outreach this morning at a little after 5. I've had them as late as 11 or 12 where people are, hey, I want to book my next appointment. So our average appointment, just kind of throwing things into scale, I threw some numbers out there earlier, but our average booking is roughly, I believe, averaging somewhere, I'll throw 150 out there. It might be a little higher than that, $150 per pet appointment, because some of the bigger dogs are much higher and the lower ones don't get much lower than probably a little over $100. So we're averaging 150, but that's not the true lifetime and value of what that initial lead brings to us, right? Because if I'm setting these folks up on, which we're working very hard to do, recurring appointments, really the total value, the best estimates I can do, including asking Chat GPT and AI to say what truly is the average that people will come back to you in a successful business like this, turns out to be somewhere around $3,000 per lead. So
Wow.
I've got numbers and I've created my spreadsheet and done all that to track. But your point with regard to answering the phone 24/7, we groomed, as an example, we groomed a truck driver's dog that pulled into a parking lot that had found us and called us because apparently he goes in and out of the Denton area here in the Metroplex.
Wow.
And so we showed up, we did it. He waited, while he was in line to get his next load. So there's all kinds of stories that can be shared. But getting back to your focus and focal point, I certainly am a fan of being able to have even if it's just from a ranking perspective, much less doing the right thing by your clients and for our business. Those are the common sense things. Answering or responding to the inquiry in a
Yeah.
timely fashion is all the difference in the world.
It is. It's it comes down to like, what we call speed to lead. And the other, and I'll get to that in a second. I want to get to your proximity or your radius, question or really comment that you made. And it's a good one, because you're exactly right in thinking what you're thinking, because you're starting to think like we are, like Nate and I as agency owners, because we're always trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes with Google and why certain things are happening. And I think you're right on with why you're getting fewer leads in the Metroplex area or in the center of the city, because there's more competition there. And we'll do a search and I'll show you, I'll guarantee you there's other competitors. So what's Google going to do? If they have other competitors and they're responding faster to you than you in that center area, they're going to refer those leads, or they're going to rank those people higher than you when all things are equal. Now, and this is why you're seeing that in the outskirts, though, because you might be the only one that's available in those outskirts, they're going to rank you first, because of the fact that there's not many other competitors. So this is why, if you really want to, compete in a highly competitive market, and this is why it's very important. Like you brought up, I think plumbers, like those guys, and we can see, Google's paying attention to it, because they write that little sentence down there that says they know, they're listening to all the calls, they see them. It says typically replies in 15 minutes, typically replies in an hour, typically replies in 24 hours. And here's the other thing, the number, and Nate and I were just texting about this morning, because Nate sent me a screenshot. He's like, holy cow, Google is now making outbound phone calls. And we'll show you in a second an example.
I've received some.
Really?
Yeah.
So AI agents are now going on the prowl, so to speak, for people that are looking for services in order to find out, for example, who's got the best pricing, who's got the best whatever. And then they'll come back with a summary of that. So you're only going to get more of these phone calls and or more of these message leads as a business owner. So if you, like yourself, Randy, you had said you're trying to answer the phone yourself, God bless you. I mean, you need backup, really, because, and this is where it's really important, because some people, they do just want to dip their toe in the water first. And I get it. You want it. Especially if you're the business owner and you like to take those calls, it is best if you get on the phone. So what you can do is we can actually make it so that you get called first, and then the AI will pick up after 20 seconds if you don't answer. So that's the way that I would set it up. And I don't know if Sam's on. Okay, so Sam's still on, and I do want to do a search in your area, just to find out like what's going on there, to see what the competition's like. So, let me go to Sam's here, and then we'll come back to you in a second. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let me show my screen. But does that make sense though, Randy, in terms of what I see?
Everything makes total sense. Yes.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. Awesome. Let me share my screen again. Share screen, entire screen. There we go. Okay. So you guys can see my screen. Okay, so Sam, you still there?
Oh yeah.
Did we bore you to death, or did you get something out of what we were just sharing there?
Oh no, I was very fascinated.
Okay, good, awesome. And I can show you an example, because some people, it really is important if you haven't heard an AI agent, like a voice agent, because that's when I first set down this path. Set off down this path 2 years ago to find out a solution to the number one problem that I had with my businesses, which was just getting the phone answered. And I went to my first AI event 2 years ago. I was the guy that was just, frustrating all the speakers. I just kept raising my hand, like, how do we give this agent, this AI thing that was doing all these wonderful things via text, how do we give it a voice, And back then it was very rudimentary. And finally, in the last day, the last speaker came up to me and said, you might want to call this company. And that's what started me down the path. And 2 years later, I think we're the only, we've got the only AI agent that can do text, chat on your website, and voice, and has context from all three. So which is really good. So here's your vertical med spa. This is the keyword that you'd want to show up for Vegas, obviously. And like I was saying, PPC is your big option right now. Are you guys running PPC right now?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. And then the other option is, and this applies obviously to you as well, Randy, or, Manny as well as on the phone. I think Nate had to go because he only had about a half an hour, but, but I'm glad you guys got perspective of that, because, he's been, white labeling my service for a little while, and he does have some really good, experience with the tool, and people have had good experiences with it. It's really cool. So this is, these are the top guys. Obviously, Chic La Vie is obviously like number one. Obviously, what we've talked about is, the reviews, and one of the things I was going to talk about today as well is it's not just how many reviews you have, it's also the consistency of the reviews that you're getting. So it's how frequently are you getting reviews? I'd rather see you get one review a week instead of 4 in 1 week and then none for 3 weeks, in a month. And so, just that consistency that really is important. And then this is, so your opportunity here is, so you're not showing up on the maps. Obviously, there's, as I was saying before, there's no local service ads yet for med spas. And the opportunity for you guys is, you could, most people with this type of result, about 30%, the stats are about 30% select from the PPC ads, and about 40% or so pick from the Google Business Profile, and pretty much the remaining amount pick from the organic down here. So that's kind of how it usually shakes out. And if there's local service ads up here, we see that the local service ads usually get about 30% of 30 to 35, maybe 40% of the traffic. PPC gets about 10. Google Business Profile gets about 20, 30%, and then the remainder goes to the organic. Just to give you a little idea of kind of how that works out. But one thing I would do, and I've shared this on a couple of different times that I've gone live here, is, if you've got a Google pay-per-click or Google local or Google Business Profile page, what I would do, and not a lot of people know that you can do this, is here, I'll just do a search for Accelerate. I would do this today. I want you to at least walk away today with at least a couple things that you can do today. So this is, for example, like our Google Local Service Ads page for Accelerate Marketing. And first of all, I would respond to all your reviews as well. So there's speed to lead, and also like speed to like response time for everything on Google. So, and that includes your reviews. So if you get a review, you want to respond to it quickly. But what I would do here is by the way, to pull up your Google Business Profile page, all you got to do is type in your keyword and like your city. So you want to type in, or your business name and your city. And that should pull up your Google Business Profile back office, so to speak, which is this. This allows you to edit. As long as you're logged into the email that manages that account, then you should see this here, which allows you to edit your profile. So once you get here, then you want to go to edit profile. And one thing that people don't know is that you can actually include chat as a way for people to engage with you, chat or WhatsApp. And this function just became available about a month ago. So just something to do, and it's that would be different and probably get you maybe a 5 to 10% boost in your leads, because some people, when they see that you've got a chat functionality, they if they're younger crowd, sometimes that's all they want to do. They don't want to call. They just want to send a chat. So most of your competitors probably are not using that. So that's just something that you could implement today that would give you a little bit of a advantage. And then let me go back. So, okay. So that's one thing. Do you have the chat set? Let me see if I can find you here. I'm gonna see if I can find your, what was the name of it again?
Heal and Glow.
Yeah, Heal and Glow. Okay. Let me see. So let me. I'm just going to do a search for it, just like I did for Accelerate Marketing. So. Heal and Glow. Okay, so here you are. This is how you find your business. You got 14 reviews, in Paradise, Nevada. And yeah, so you could add the chat functionality there because you don't have it, and that could potentially get you a few more leads. Let me look at your reviews. Newest. Okay, 5 months ago. So you definitely want to work on that for sure. Like that strategy that I was telling you about, all those cards, those tap cards, because you're able to get in front of people as well. So go to Amazon. Type in Google tap cards, and there you go. These right here. So this is all, you just keep these at the front. Somebody just taps their phone on that, and it takes them. See how it's doing it right here? It literally takes them right on their phone to leave a review immediately in 5 seconds. See?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they can either scan it or they can just tap it on their phone. So that would be could potentially be a game changer for you, because that's one of the reasons why you're, why that's definitely going to help you rank higher, not only for Google Business Profile, but because these reviews are shared between your Google Business Profile page and your Google Local Service Ads page, it's going to help you rank on both. That's why we spend so much time talking about reviews, because it's the one thing that's actually shared between both profiles. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So the big question that I have, so I have the 2 locations, so I have 2 different pages.
Yep. So here's the one in San Diego.
Yeah.
Is this you?
No, that's not.
All right. So we got 5 reviews here. Yeah. And so what's your question? Yeah. So you have 2 different pages.
Well, I just want to make sure that I can't do it from one page and share the reviews between.
No, unfortunately, yeah, you can't. But so you'd have to have those tap cards for each location.
Okay.
Yep. And then, it's good though, because, then you're going to have, you've got, it's kind of like, when you're fishing, is it better to have 1 pole in the water or 2 poles, if you look at it that way, so because a lot of businesses, and this is a really good strategy for you as well, if you're mobile, for your vertical, Randy, is that we can look up yours in a second here. But generally speaking, the more locations you have, the better. And this is one of the things that, just like anything else, there's so many ways to skin a cat, so to speak, to increase the lead volume from Google. And we've thought or tried them all over the last 16 years. And one of the strategies that I came up with almost 6 years ago, actually 7 years ago, for the attorney vertical, because it's very competitive, I was trying to give my attorneys some advantage, and I thought of, just open up more locations. And they did that, and it did so well that I had one attorney that just literally, he had one person that their sole job was just to go from location to location every week and just open up new locations for the attorney. So Google, there's ways to do this, and I'm not suggesting that you know that you go and do that if you've got, especially if you got a business like this that's just in that area. You've got to obviously put in all the infrastructure and everything. But if you're mobile, who knows? Maybe that might be something that's an interesting angle potentially. So let's see what else here. What other questions do you have, Sam, about your page here? Because what I would do as well, and I'll just I would definitely like add more photos here. You claim it. It says own this business. You have access to both of these, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. And I would definitely go in and, like I was showing you here with mine, one thing that you can do is you can and this will help you rank for the large language models as well, is I would go here and create some Q&As and then answer them like usually these Q&As are submitted by other people, but you can ask a question of your business yourself and then answer it, because there might be some questions that people don't know to ask. So if you can ask those questions, this will potentially help you rank for others, very specific phrases that people might type into large language models. I was working with a HVAC guy this past week. He's a client of mine, and one of the things that he's trying to rank for is plumbing. He wants to rank for commercial plumbing, and he doesn't have anything plumbing on his commercial on his website. It's all just residential stuff, or it's just not nondescript. And so I'm like, look, you got to get the word commercial everywhere you possibly can as fast as possible. So this is one of the ways that we did that. That and obviously adding those words to his website as well. What else? I would also add posts. One of the things I was going to talk about today as well is the importance of posts. I can go over that in a second here, but especially like these, update posts. They're simple. You can add videos, and you can highlight certain services that you offer, or you can make an offer here or highlight an event that you have. But these are great, again, to get, like, for example, one of the suggestions that I gave the commercial plumber is create a commercial plumbing update and give an offer for commercial plumbing and create a video about it, and you could do the same for some offerings that you have, in your particular vertical that you're in, like yours. I mean, do you have any services that you offer that you'd like to promote, Sam?
Weight loss is always a good one.
Okay, yeah. So you could just do it on, you could do a post on that, and there's all kinds of tools. I mean, with the large language models right now, Google's got Nano Banana out, which is unbelievable, like what it can do. I mean, you can literally upload a photo and you can edit it to make it anything you want. I mean, it's unbelievable what you can do. You can create from any photo that you have. You can put your logo. Like if you have somebody in your staff and you got a picture of them and you want your logo on their lapel, you can put in the prompt and it'll do that. It'll add your logo there. It'll take a piece of furniture out of the picture. You can say, okay, now create a picture of this person doing a weight loss consultation or doing a massage or whatever. It's like you can, and so you don't have to have a photo shoot anymore. You can literally create these photos like, instantly without any any big expense, which is really great. So does that help?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. And you can create videos too, like full videos that are like, you would have cost you $50,000 to $100,000 to create 7 months ago. Crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's so anyway. So let me. So I'm going to go into Randy's here. I'm kind of curious about this. And if you want to stay on, you can. And by the way, if anybody has any comments, questions, please post them in the below the video. Yeah, Nathaniel said he had to go ahead in a private chat there, so he had to jump. But yeah, any comments? I will respond to comments after the video goes live as well. So even if you're not live, if post a comment below, and I'll answer any questions that you have. And then let's go to what's your area that you want to show up in, Randy?
Okay, so where our name is even from as a franchise, we call it Zoomin, no G on the ends, but Zoomin Grumman, 2 words, Flower Mound. So we're called Zoomin Grumman Flower Mound, just like there's a Fort Worth version of us, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So
Flower Mound?
Flower, Flower, then a space, then Mound. Flower Mound is a city, probably 300,000 people.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it. Okay, so this is it. So Zoomin Grumman. Okay, Flower Mound. There you go. Boom. Zoomin Groom. I like that. Cool. We got 101 reviews, 4.9 star rating. You're gonna add the chat to your Google Business profile today. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would, because I think it's gonna, it's just another way for people. And by the way, we can put an AI agent on the other end of that, so that you don't have to respond to it at all.
Interesting. So that chat, how would that chat reach me, as an example?
Okay, so let me go back to Accelerate. So it would. There's 2 options. You can, and I had it go to my SMS, but you have either text message or WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah, so inside my profile, whenever I go in there under my GLSA account, then I'd go in and make sure that my telephone number is tied to that, at least for now. And it would literally pop up like a chat. And when someone asks a question, I'd be able to respond back to it. Yeah, it's much like receiving a message.
Yeah, it's going to just send you a text to your cell phone, and what the person's going to see is they're just going to see down below here, they'll say see chat as an option. In your profile, so that they can chat with you.
So Ryan, I'm in Google, and I think that I'm on the area where I'd need to be on the area where I can edit. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Because I'm looking from a different, I've got another business and all that. And so whenever I see Google, or whenever I pull up Zoomin Grumman in there, I see the 101 reviews, but I see call, share, save, reviews, and website across that bottom area. You're saying that I'll go in and I'll be able to add chat there also. That's where that would appear?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right down here. It would be exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep, right down here. And this would show up in the search results. Sometimes it doesn't show up when you just see your page itself, like right here. Mm-hmm. But when you show up in the search result, I can probably pull up one here. Let me type in dog grooming. What was the location you want to show up for?
Oh, Flower Mound.
Okay.
I mean, it's big enough that you'll probably see some competitors, everything.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. Bark Bus. That's, you guys are the greatest names.
Okay.
I love it. Okay. And I mean, and for you can create like an infinite. I mean, I would seriously use, I would definitely today use Nano Banana, because with dogs, the options are endless, and you can create literally the cutest dog pictures in the world.
And Ryan, let me ask you this real quickly, because I know rules consistently change, right, over time. Are they allowing for AI generated images or altered images? Does Google frown on that, or are they fine with it now?
No, they're fine with it. Just like AI responding to message leads. And look, all Google cares about is a great experience. And this is their own technology. So, I mean, like, and they haven't put any rules around it or anything like that in terms of like where it can be used. So, I mean, I just can't. It'd be kind of interesting for them to say, no, you can't use our own tool. But and it's great, because all it does is it creates a better experience. That's what they want. They just want people when they go and find businesses that they have a great experience. And part of that great experience is definitely not this. You see where it says typically replies in 1 hour? So this is where you have an opportunity, you got BarkBus that's and this is, Google's paying attention to it. They're taking message leads, but they're responding in an hour. So if you just beat them out and respond instead of an hour, but in minutes, you're gonna get a lot more message leads,
Makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
I was just concerned because my wife and I had talked about some of the pictures and the images we use, and this is a little bit of legacy thinking going on here, but there were years where, like, for example, in real estate, that you couldn't go in and green up the yard. You couldn't go in and do things to make these pictures look better. It was just, I mean, first off, you could get fined in the real estate business doing that. So all of that, in fact, even now, let me ask you this. This would be a little different, but whenever you say enhancing a picture, making a dog look great is great. But if you shot a picture of your van, if your van shows your telephone number on it, I've in fact, maybe even spoken with a Google representative. You would probably know this. You can't show that telephone number, right? Because people might not click on the ad. They might just call that phone number. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, but
I know I'm throwing a curveball out there, but
no. So you're saying you can't put a phone number on your cars?
Well, so no, we've got a huge, if you will, it's like a mobile billboard, right? It's got our telephone number across the top. But if you shoot, if a client posts it, it may be different. But if we went in and let's just say our front image photo is of our van, because a lot of people see our van driving around these cities.
Right.
And so they might recognize it on Google. And if they click on that picture to look at that, instead of a beautiful dog, they look at our van and it says our telephone number on it, which it does, incidentally. Then all of a sudden Google would go, hold it, wait a minute. You're not, they're calling your number directly. They're not going through the program.
Right. So what you're saying is, if they find that phone number on, like if you've got that phone number in your picture that's on your Google ad or on your Google local service ads, then Google might frown on that, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but yet I did have, interestingly enough, a lady write a fantastic review, and she showed, it was in there amongst the 100, but she showed a picture of our van out in front of her home saying, they're amazing. You should see them. My dog ran to their van, and she had a picture of, that experience, and our van was there. And I suppose someone could have pulled up that picture and seen our van and called off that van without it being a Google local services ad. So I think a client could post it, but we can't.
Yes.
That was my understanding, right? Because it would deter from their revenue that we're generating.
Yeah. You can't put those kind of photos in the in this section right here. But I wanted to, and okay. You don't want to put a phone number that you have. You can put your logo or anything like that, and it says that in the terms of service before you upload any photos. And I can review that in a second here. But let me show you what's possible. I just took a screenshot of little furry guy right here, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna see what's possible here. So I'm gonna put this dog driving a convertible Mustang. Okay, and let's see. And we might have to have it run here for a little bit. I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, sure.
But you can see, like, this is the dog. There you go. I mean, what?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, put that in your Google local service ads.
Well, or even just a little bit more sane, I'll say that, is to take some of these dogs, and we shoot our pictures. Many of them are the dog in the bathtub, and they try to catch, our groomer tries to catch it while it's smiling. But imagine not having to go through the gyrations to do some of that you could put dog experiencing happy grooming relationship with the groomer. And it could be the dog giving the groomer a hug or whatever, to create an experience that all these parents, they're like extended family members. These dogs are. They love for them to be loved and to be treated great. We call it a mobile spa, I mean, a grooming
Yeah.
spa for their pets. So I think there's what you're onto there is great. But
Yeah.
Google will accept those. Yeah, it's their technology. Okay.
Now make a video with this same dog driving.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah. I don't think, I think it might have to be in via Veo to do this. Oh, can't you? Yeah. So let me
Okay.
download the video. I'm going to show you. You're gonna. This is unreal. So here, let me just do a screenshot of this. Yeah, if you don't have a screenshot tool, like I would definitely get that. This is
even like Snippet or something would probably do it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So let's let's go to create video, new chat.
Ryan, while you do that, are you of the impression that, and I take it, I'm going to be a little bit ignorant here on the subject matter, but that's why you're here. And can we load videos just like we can pictures? And if the answer is yes, do quality videos test out better with audiences and getting their attention and them selecting us maybe versus others in this grand scheme of things?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why I'm showing you. I mean, yeah, it does. These are just little tidbits of, info that can help you to really get better results. This is going to take 1 to 2 minutes, which is good because we don't have much time left here anyway. But this is how you can create a professional, like these are pro videos that are like what you would see almost like in a movie theater. Like it's crazy, like the results. So, so what I was saying though is that here's another guy. Look at this. In a few hours. Okay, so here you are. So you are typically replying in a few hours. That's what they have you as here. And then here's another guy. Most of you guys are all replying in an hour or in a few hours or in a day.
Oh, I think that what you're saying could elevate our business tremendously.
Yeah, 100%.
agree.
Yeah, because if you'd be the only guy that responds in minutes. I mean, so Google would just on that alone would probably in those like
the more metro areas
in the city central. Yeah, in city central, they're gonna probably put you. So what's that worth to you guys? Where you now are
gold for us.
Yeah, I know, and this is why when you combine just these 1 degree little shifts in your strategy with the fact that you're in a new vertical that was just launched, and I didn't know that this vertical had that much. Each new client had that much value. That honestly, I did not. So here you go. So I could have put very easily.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. And he's even, I mean, you could have put that same dog. Can you imagine doing this for just for fun? Sending this as a follow-up to your clients and saying, turns out your dog just started driving.
You got a really smart groom going. Now they can drive.
Yeah. I mean, you could put their dog in a video like this. And if you're the first one to do this, the attention that you would get, those guys would all be sharing it with their buddies. And I could have done that, but I just didn't have time to upload the photo of that furry that dog.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, a quick question before, I know we're bumping up against time here and on top of me joining late, but one thing that I'd like to visit more, whether it's in the next session you do or whatever, and I'd be happy to get in there, but I'm really interested in the impact that people that are beginning to search some of the large language models out there in place of just Google searches, what you perceive the impact is going to be short and long term, and long term would probably be a year, right? The way things are moving these days. You may already have something that you've spoken to this before, but I'd really like your input on it.
Yeah. So I started talking about that a little bit. I think look, Gary Vee spoke, probably a month and a half ago in front of, and a month and a half is a long time now. I mean, it's
Right.
it's like things happen so fast. He spoke in front of probably 3,000 or 4,000, agency owners. And one of the things that he asked is, how many of you guys are doing searches on large language models now that you used to do on Google? And more than half, probably 3/4 of the people in the crowd, which, their agencies are a little bit more digital savvy,
Sure.
so to speak. But at the same time, though, it's a real, and Sam, Sam had to jump. He said, okay, yeah, thanks for the good. Yeah. But that was really sent, chills down a lot of our spines, because we're like, whoa, like Google is potentially, because I'm old enough and I've had my agency long enough to remember when we were using the phrase, Google's the new yellow pages. Well,
Sure.
now Google could be used as the old yellow pages, as in a very short amount of time. It could be Google that is thought of as being the new yellow page strategy, in a sense, like almost like an old school strategy, to get found. Now that hasn't happened yet, and because of the way that Google is incorporating AI into their results, and because of the power of their LLM, which we build an AI agent. Which, by the way, one of the things that I think would be really great for you to have, Randy, is at least an audit done of your Google Business Profile page and your local service ads page by Roque and Mary on my team at Accelerate, because they can tell you more, and go into even more detail and more depth with you on your Google Business Profile page and your local service ads page on how, we can help you and work together, because, I mean, the amount of benefit that you're going to get, and I can tell because you're in a new vertical, that would be minuscule, would be much magnified versus the amount of that you would pay us to help you just make some of these other 1-degree shifts. I mean, imagine, some of the shifts that you've made, are just free. Imagine, if you actually worked with us, I think we would really be able to, especially because we don't take on everybody. I mean, that's why we do the audit. I mean, we've done this long enough to know that, unlike your business, like pretty much any dog's a good dog, right? But for us, it's not the case. I mean, because we can't help everybody. I mean, we'd love to, but a lot of businesses that are in verticals that have been around for a while and there's a lot of competition, Google will literally shut off the spigot. And they will. And so what happens is we can't prove to Google at that point that we have rectified our ways, so to speak.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
so this is why, one of the reasons why we specifically do an audit of the LSA, local service ads page, because that's such a big part of whether or not we can help them or not, is we look at that. Now, the Google Business Profile is a little bit different because there's about 20 variables or more that we look at where we can help somebody. And, Mary, she spends about an hour on each one of them to there's no, you don't have to work with us or anything like that. It's free. And that 619 number, if you want to, just basically all you have to do is give them your CID, you just text them at that 619 number, and then they would do that audit. But I think, to get back to your question, the large language models, I did a live video on this stream like this, like we're doing right now, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I did another one maybe 2 months ago. And, what we're talking about is large language model optimization. So what has previously been known as search engine or SEO, search engine optimization, it's now LLMO, or some people refer to it as, what is it? There's a few other terms for it, but the bottom line is that you just want to make sure that, like, for example, for your vertical, just like with Google, what I would recommend is that you do what we do, and you do the searches that you think people are going to search for, and see if you come up. It's just, it's really simple. So do the same things do the same type of searches with Gemini, do the same search with ChatGPT, and see what actually pops up. What's surprising is, and this is it's just shocking to me, is that Google actually does not have as good of a interface, so to speak, for their search results, even though they own Google Business Profile and all the data. Surprisingly, ChatGPT, in my opinion, has done a better job of representing the data, meaning the actual the business listings, than Google's done. And I hope that you're still. I can't see anymore. You're able to hear me? Oh shoot! I think we might have lost Randy. But anyway, we're about out of time. Unless Randy jumps back, I think the best thing to do would be to to wrap it up. And but if you have any questions, guys, again, 619-304-5155. Again, that's 619-304-5155. I appreciate your time. We got to get another call. But anyway, you can also go to school.com/local lead labs. And let me know if you guys have any other questions. And I appreciate you jumping on today. It was great talking to you. I had to call. Okay, awesome. So just text me. It's at the 619 number, Randy, and we'll take it offline. Thanks, guys.